This is the homework for lesson number 27 of the series that Paul McWhorter has on YouTube called AI on the Edge. Last week she showed us how to put a box around an object of interest, and what he wanted us to do was use that box to adjust the pan and the tilt for our camera to follow the object of interest. Let me go ahead and demonstrate that right now. Right now, I've got it up. I'm having trouble trying to figure out Windows. Okay, now it's zoomed in on this little fan that came with a kit. And if you look at it, you can go to the one screen. You can see it following the fan blades. And go back the other way. You can see it following that way. If I go up, it follows all the way up. It's doing a pretty good job. Okay, so let me put this down. And then I'll go ahead and adjust the windows. I'm not sure which one's which here. Let's take this guy and put him at the top. Okay, so there's the code. And I want to get that guy out of here. Not sure which one that is. That's a video source. So it's this video source. My video source I wanted to bring up. That's good. Let's just leave it the way it is. I can work around the screen. Okay, well, I can just make it smaller now. Now it's in the corner. And here, let's go to, let me go ahead and quit. No, I got out of it, so I got to. Now I can quit. Okay. Now, if we go to the software, basically this is the software we ended up with on Wednesday. We set up the only thing I had to add was NumPy and the Fusion Hat Servo. Still, I had to add some, what do you call it? I had to define the pins, do the tilt and pan stuff to define that, and then set up an angle. Okay, go down here. I'm just setting up uh, variables that are going to be used later on. Here's the tracking business. I put that back in here because it was such a pain to use that little, I don't know if that was a table or what it was, but what he used for the color, and it was just too hard to adjust. So I went back to our classes and pulled in the track windows. Okay, it's real simple. They just track one, track two. One's for valve, hue, and then that was for saturation. The other one's for the value. And then down here, you create the trackers, put them on the screen, and set whatever level you want. I set this up for yellow because I don't want to mess around with it. Anyhow, then we got basically stuff for the cam and showing the resizing the camera. Then we do all this stuff here, which is here's something I did for the track stuff. I had to revamp this stuff down here. I set up a lower bound and the hue sat low and bound high or low. Then I did the same thing for upper bound, hue high, sat high, and bound high. And that got that information into the upper bound, so it can adjust the color. Now we get down here. What are we doing here? Oh, this is where we do that little the little rectangle, or we define the little rectangle around the object of interest, or in this case, a color, or in my case, a little fan, which is the perfect yellow. Okay, now what I do here is at the beginning, I set up the error X and the error Y. Error X is for the pan, and the error Y is for the tilt. I set up a deadband of 50 pixels, which is about 1 degree, give or take. And then you've got the pan. See here, I set up I look at the error X, which is developed up here. I compare the little box to the frame, the center of the frame to the center of the little box, and subtract the two, and that is your error. So that error, if it's greater than deadband, which is 50, it'll subtract 1. And if it gets to, if the angle is less than 90, with minus 90, because that's kind of on the lower side, and then it turns it into 90 because you don't want to go past that. And then here's where you actually send the servo information to pan angle information to the servo. And then here we've got the deadband for the other way. This is for if a deadband is less than the deadband, then that's in the positive range, which is going counterclockwise. Yeah, I think it's counterclockwise. Anyhow, then you add a degree, and then if it's greater than 90, you can't go above 90, and then you make it 90. And then you set the angle. Down here, it's the same thing, except it's on the other side. This is that was all the stuff of the servo pan, and now this is the tilt. I got the same deadband, tilt error Y, and then we take that. If the tilt is greater than, here it is, if the error is less than deadband, which is 50, and then you go ahead and start subtracting degrees. And then if it gets down to 40, if the tilt angle is greater than 40, you make it 40 because you don't want to go much past that because the positive on this thing is down and the negative is up. So then we're down at tilt angle. If it's less than minus 60, which is getting up here probably around 60 degrees, and we just want to put it at 60 degrees because there's no need to go to 90. You probably can on that thing. And then you set the servo tilt, you send that information to the servo. Down here, you got the same thing, except it's on the other side. You got the error Y deadband angle. If it's greater than the deadband, then you're going to add degrees to it. And that should aim it down. And then you do the same thing, or you set the you set the tilt angle, you set it to the servo. Then there's the FPS stuff and all that. Then of course I shut everything down here with a Q. I destroy the windows, pan angle 0, 0, and I set the angle 0, 0 on the camera, or the whatever that's called, the X, Y. And anyhow, we do that. And there's my homework, Paul. I appreciate you doing all this. And this was a little hard because I hated messing around with the numbers. It's so much easier with this track. Anyhow, we'll see you on Saturday. Bye.